All right, everybody. This is Kevin Smullin with 2Q Lead Generation Strategies. And what we have scheduled for today is kind of a special little interview course, class. I don't know what you want to call it. But basically, I've invited a good friend of mine, Amber Almond Hall. She's been in real estate a long time. She has built a lot of real estate teams and has trained a lot of people on how to follow up with online leads. So that is going to be our topic today. I get a lot of questions from people asking, what are the best practices for following up with leads? How can I get better conversion rates? How can I have better conversations with people? And since I'm a marketer and not a real estate agent, I figured I'd bring in somebody with a lot more expertise on this topic than what I have. So Amber's one of the best agents I have seen. In fact, she's the one that I trust with my own personal transactions. So that gives you a pretty good idea of the level of trust I have with her. And she's fantastic at what she does. So Amber, thanks for being here. I'll turn some time over to you if you want to just give a little bit of your background, and we'll jump right in.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
You bet.
Little generous with the comments, but I appreciate it. I've been in real estate, just a little tiny background. I've been in real estate about 12 years. I got licensed when I was looking for my own home. It was around 2008, just after things had crashed. So imagine the inventory that was available. It was, hit and miss. I went to see one house and I called the agent on the sign because I didn't know a real estate agent to call. And he said, "This house will be perfect for you." And it had a gaping hole in the roof. And I was like, I'm single and just me. I don't know how to fix holes in the roof. I don't think this house is perfect for me. So I found another house, same thing. I call the agent on the sign and he says literally the same thing to me: "This house will be perfect for you." And I thought, is this something that they teach in real estate school? How to talk to people and use these phrases. And so that's when I thought, I think I need a little more education for my own peace of mind and for my own understanding to be able to make sure that I am protected and really getting into something that I want to get into and not something that the agent thinks is perfect for me when it's not. So that's when I got licensed. And the reason I tell that story is because that's kind of the foundation that I got licensed on, is that I wanted knowledge for myself. I wanted to be able to trust the people that I am working with. And if I didn't have that trust, at least I would have a little bit more background. But now that I had my license, I didn't have my license yet. I realized I really loved what I had learned and wanted to get my license. And so that's the foundation I built my business on, is to be somebody that somebody can trust with their largest transaction oftentimes, and over and over again if needed, and really be an advocate for my clients in real estate and in the real estate market. So I've been doing real estate now for 12 years. I've been licensed in Utah for all 12 of those years, and then recently just got licensed in Texas and have relocated. So I did build a couple of teams in Utah, and I am still working with the most recent team. And then I'm working to do the same thing down here in Texas as well. And running with a new foundation and a new location.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for that intro. So again, the topic we're talking about, as we've obviously discussed previously to today's conversation, is one of the questions I get all the time is, okay, Kevin, I'm getting these leads. What's the best way to follow up? How can I make the most impact? And so what are your thoughts there?
So for me personally, when you get licensed and everything is a blur and everybody's trying to recruit you to come into them and to work for their brokerage, and they say, "We've got the training and we've got the tools," and everything was come in and make cold calls, And that's just not my personality, really. So I did come in and I did learn a lot of the skills and the foundations. I reviewed the scripts, but again, not my personality and not my style to try and call somebody on the phone and use a script. So I did do a lot of the role plays when I first got licensed. I did do a lot of practicing. But then I kind of tried to turn that so that I interjected my own personality, my own style, my own technique to be able to have the knowledge, have the foundation, but me as a person as well. And I think that's critical to remember, is that you are your own individual person. And if you're trying to take you out of it and do something that you're not comfortable doing, yeah, you can get good at it after a while, but the person on the other end is still going to feel sold. And they're going to feel like, well, I've been working with this person, but maybe that level of trust isn't there. And the three things that you always want in a relationship is the know, like, and trust. And it's going to take a little bit of time to get to those various levels, and different time depending on the person. But the faster you can get to know, like, and trust both the person you're working with, and then them to know, like, and trust you as a person, then the smoother that relationship is going to go, and the better you're going to be able to serve your clients.
Awesome. Love that.
So that's one thing that's big, is spend the time to review the script, spend the time to learn the verbiage, the language. But I love the word help. How can I help you? How can I help you find a home? How can I help answer your questions? How can I help you get qualified? How can I help introduce you to the right people along the process? Because nobody wants to be sold when they answer the phone that first time. They want help. And the faster that they feel like you really are there to help and to serve them, the faster they're going to feel comfortable with you on their side as their advocate, and as their trusted advisor. So my number one rule is help. How can I help my clients, my potential clients, my leads, strangers of the street, whoever I'm talking to? How can I help them? And then that genuine willingness to help oftentimes comes back. And sometimes, like, I just had somebody call me a couple days ago that I haven't talked to in 5 years. He did a lot of handyman work for me, and it's time for him to sell his house. And he said, hey, I just remember how much you helped answer my questions and helped all of your other clients. And it's time for us to put this on the table. And we're having discussions about helping him get his house sold and onto the next step of life. So helping is a number one word, I should say a key word that I use in all of my questions that I ask people on the phone. How can I help you X, Y, or Z?
Sure. Awesome.
So so that's one. I wrote down like my top notes here that I am always repeating. So when I'm looking down, I'm just want to make sure that I'm not missing things. When I'm training my agents, the next thing is that I have 7 contact points that I teach and train them to do. And then they can take that in as little as 2 days up to 6 days. And it's various techniques. You can do the calling, which it combines calling, text message, and email. Because when you're setting up leads, Kevin, which, you know, I'm going off as you've set up the leads, they're coming in, they're flowing, and it's just more about how do I really reach these people? And then, like you said, have these conversations with them. So I use all 3 techniques. And one is, the first thing I do is, as soon as I possibly can get the phone and call out to these leads, is I pick up the phone and call out, and 98% of the time they don't answer, because who answers their phone anymore?
Unless you're a real estate agent, but yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do not leave a voicemail on the first call. I just don't, because, you know, a lot of times though too, it'll show up as spam. So, I mean, every now and then somebody will answer, and then I call and introduce myself. Hey, you just came through as requesting information. How can I help you either see this house, get more homes like that? You know, have you been qualified? Can I help you in that process? We start the conversation there.
Okay.
And then if they don't answer, I will call back. And what I do is I try and go through other leads. Like, that lead will come in, I call them as fast as I possibly can. Then I try and reach out to some other leads who haven't been responsive, give it, I don't know, 30 minutes to a couple of hours. I'll call again. And again, I don't leave a voicemail. And then I'll follow that up with a text message. Sometimes I'll do the text message right then. Sometimes I'll leave that till the next day. It really depends on what I have on my calendar and my schedule, what appointments I'm running to, how many leads I'm following up on. But I don't let it go more than the next day. If I let it go to the next day, I call again. If they don't answer, that's when I do the text message. Now, I personally love video text message. I'm super comfortable talking to people on video. It's not something I was super comfortable doing it on the first time. But since I've done video text message, I get a massive response, meaning like my numbers jumped from like 5% of people responding to a text message to like 20% of people responding to a text message, because now they're able to link my face, my voice, and exactly what I'm calling for. And then as they see too, lead as they start seeing the emails come through, they're putting all the pieces together to build that know, like, and trust that we talked about.
And I'm sure there's probably various solutions out there, but I'm sure somebody's going to be asking the question, what is it you're using for the video texting?
Yeah, definitely.
I know how they think, Amber.
I know. So I've got my phone up and ready that let me just give you a run through of how I do this. Now,
okay.
I've done it through BombBomb. I've used sophisticated technology. Like BombBomb is probably the most well-known, and that's why I say BombBomb, because their platform is phenomenal. It'll tell you when somebody has watched the message, when somebody has watched the entire thing versus just a couple seconds of something. But I also found that somebody having to click on a link gets a little sketchy. Like, well, am I clicking on a link? Is this safe? I'm not familiar with BombBomb. As real estate agents, we are, because it's designed for us specifically. But as just a buyer or a seller, it's not necessarily like out there all the time for them.
Sure.
Then I realized I was spending too much time analyzing the data and going through like, well, who watched all of my video? And who only watched 30 seconds? And this guy only watched 5 seconds. Do you think he'll watch longer of another video? And I was getting really hung up in almost the obsession of who had watched what, how long, versus the just get it done and try and reach them and contact them somehow. So I dumbed it down, and this is as simple as it gets. I open my phone, I go to my camera, I reverse it on selfie, put it on video, and hit record. And so I'll do a video message to Bob for you. Hey, Bob, I just wanted to let you know that I received your contact information because you're interested in a house on Berry Street. It's a phenomenal property and it's still available. So if you're interested in seeing it, I would love to help you make that happen. If you have more questions about real estate, I also want to help you get those questions answered. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Amber Almond Hall, your local real estate expert. Your information, like I said, did come across as being interested on Berry Street, and I'd love to get you into that property. You can call me back at this number, you can text me, or you can shoot me an email. I did send you more information on that property as well. Let me know how I can help. Talk to you soon. I end record, and I send that now through as a text message.
So you're not even using a program, so to speak. You're just using your phone.
I'm not. I don't use a program. This is my moneymaker right here. Fun fact, one time I left my phone in the bathroom at the Space Museum in Houston when we were visiting my parents at Christmas. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, and somebody stole my phone. And I tracked it on the Find My Phone app. and I could see it traveling all through the Space Museum. And I was like, I've got to get my phone back. Like, I have appointments, I have clients trying to get a hold of me, I have a closing tomorrow, and I was in panic mode. And we left the Space Museum and drove to the Apple store and bought a new phone. Because this is where everything happens for me. And so whenever I use technology, it has to be easily accessible on my phone. And it has to be simple for me to do. And when I realized that I was obsessing over the details, and don't get me wrong, BombBomb is a phenomenal product and program, but I was getting hung up and I needed it to be more simple and quicker than uploading, sending, tracking, all of those results. And so I just used the camera in my phone. Super simple. Anybody can do it. And here's how I learned how to do it the first time is I was challenged to send 10 text messages to friends and family doing just that. And in my practice messages, I couldn't even mention real estate. It was just send a text message and say, hey, Kevin, just wanted to check in. I saw that awesome picture of your daughter playing volleyball on Facebook. It looks like y'all are doing great. Just wanted to connect. I hope you're doing well. Hit end and send it. And that was it. And that was the breakthrough for me. 10 text message to friends, just checking in, not mentioning real estate, that they responded and were like, it's so great to hear from you. Nobody was like, what's up with your eye makeup? Like, that is something. Why does your hair look so frizzy today? Like, none of that was a topic of conversation. And I think with video, we get so hung up on like, is my makeup done right? Is my hair in the right place? Did I say the right thing? Was the angle the right way? All the things, when it's really just a personal touch that goes above and beyond what 99% of other people are doing. So there you have it.
Awesome. I love it. So you're finding that video, what's that?
My top secret video messaging strategy.
Hey, if it's getting you like 4 or 5 times the results of just what most people do, that's the whole point of this conversation, right? What are your best practices that are producing the greatest results?
Yeah. So that's my third outreach. When I have not had a response from somebody after 2 phone calls, then I do my video message. I would say a handful of times after that, people will pick up the phone the next time I call. But after I send that video text, I'll call now and leave a voicemail. And in my voicemail, it's very similar to my video, except I'll reference the video and I'll say, hey, Bob, it's Amber. I'm on the phone now, not doing video. Hey, Bob, it's Amber. I received your information because you were interested in looking at the house on Berry Street. It's still available. It's a phenomenal property. When can I help you get into that property? If you need help in qualification or have questions, I'm happy to answer those for you as well. Give me a call and let me know the best way I can help. Here's my cell phone number. You can text me as well, just as easily, or you can respond to the email with the information that I sent you on Berry Street. Hope to talk to you soon. And then, whatever you say when you hang up.
Cool.
So that's my voicemail. If I don't hear back again, I'll send another text message, but my next text message is very specific with 3 points. Hi, Bob. I received your information because you requested information on Berry Street. I want to help you get into Berry Street and see that property. If Berry Street is not the one you're interested in right now, I want to help you find the right home for you. I want to help you take the right steps for qualification, or I want to know that you have found another property and I don't need to contact you anymore. No matter what, no hard feelings. Will you just give me a call back and let me know how I can help you the best? I have very rarely, if somebody says, take me off your list, they text me back. They don't call me back, but I usually get a phone call back when they call, a phone call or a text message. I would say it's about 50-50, to be totally honest, of who calls me versus texts me. But when they reach out, I get a better response at that fourth outreach. After that, I send another email to follow up, and I'll outline those 3 points. How can I help you find the right property? How can I help you take the right steps to get qualified? Or let me know if you've already found something and I'm happy to take you off my list. And then if I don't hear back from them, I do a final phone call with an email. I'll do a final text message, and then they go into my drip campaign. And my drip campaign is going to be following up, sending them properties. Anytime I have listings, that's going to go out. Anytime I record a new market update or a video, whatever I'm doing in my marketing campaign, they're going to get copied on. And like I said, sometimes several years later, I'll have people reach out just because that went on autopilot and they weren't ready yet. But nobody likes to tell you no. Nobody likes to just flat out say, no, I don't want your services, or no, I don't need your help. They'll avoid you like the plague before they'll tell you no. But when they're ready for help, they'll call you and they want your help, and they want your help right now. It's not, sometimes it's like, oh, I think I'm going to be ready in a few months, but very rarely is it, I want to buy a house in 2 years. Can you help me now? Type of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So those are kind of the main things that I train on. Those 7 points of contact. Number 1, phone call. Number 2, phone call, both without a voicemail. Number 3, video text message. Email, final phone call, text message, drip campaign. And then, like I said, too, you can spread that out over 6 days. I don't usually let it go more than 6 days, but it's critical to have at least those 2 contacts in the first day, at least the first 2 phone calls, if not that video text message as well. And I do try and do something in the evening, because a lot of times it's people, busy at work during the day, hung up with whatever's going on, that they can respond more easily in the evening.
Sure. Okay. And then you mentioned, I know from our conversations, I'm not a big script person, and I know you're not as well. Yeah. I feel like if people are just themselves, that goes so much further than just going off of a script. But you did mention in the beginning of your training that you reviewed scripts, and that was kind of a starting point to turn it and make it your own. So kind of on that point, if somebody is at that stage where they're just learning, they're just getting into the habit of making calls, and they need that scripting, what would you recommend as far as the starting point for that?
So you can find scripts all over the place. There are books that are just filled with only scripts. I can find and send you a link. My books are still packed away, most of them. Sorry.
You're totally fine.
but I did find a book on, I think, Amazon, and it's only scripts and how to handle all these different scenarios and situations. My broker had a lot of scripts as well. Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, you can go on, and they've got several scripts available for free. They are going to want you to jump in and do their coaching. Great coaches. There is a significant investment involved. But there's a lot of resources that you can do and get information for free, just to practice and to know what you like to say, how you like to say it, how you like to incorporate it. And then also knowing different styles, because everybody has a different style of script that they talk about and teach and train. And so I kind of went across the board, and like I said, I was trying to just get as many free resources as I could in the beginning, that I took a lot of those different scripts and really tried to pull out what fit my personality the best and merge those together to be able to reach people and talk to people. But the same as we've talked about, and I think we're both similar in how we work with people, is my philosophy is I want to be trustworthy for people. I really do genuinely want to help people through the process, not just sell them through the process. And I built a big portion of my business on repeat clients through that trustworthiness and that helpfulness over the years. It's been, I love it just because the relationships are there. And then when you get the repeat business, you already know who you're working with. You don't have to build that know, like, and trust because you already know, like, and trust them. You just have to catch up on the life events of the last several years and go from there.
Sure. Awesome.
Solve a new problem.
Cool. Well, you're amazing. What else can I say?
You're too kind.
Well, before I hit the end of the recording button, any final tips, anything else you would share with people?
Just keep going. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in, you know, you can analyze everything in this industry. You can analyze how many listings are on the market today versus tomorrow. You can analyze if you said hi too soon to somebody. You can analyze bombs analytics all day long. But really, if you just jump in and go and do, it's a lot easier to jump in and go and do when you feel comfortable. So I think that's where, like, you know, reviewing scripts and rehearsing some things help you feel comfortable. But if you can just jump in and go and do without really thinking about it, you're going to be a lot more successful, a lot faster, and a lot more comfortable doing it. And then you're going to work with people that you really love working with. You're going to attract the people that you enjoy being around. And that's when it becomes so rewarding and a lifestyle, not a job.
Yep, absolutely. Just, you know, we've talked about this, but from my perspective, from where I see things, I think the part where most people just don't get the results that they want is simply because they stop too soon.
Yeah.
Right. They call or email once or twice and they just say, well, you know, they don't want to be a pest. They don't want to bother people. That's kind of the thought process. And so they'll contact them once or twice. And it's just this thought process of, I don't want to bother them. If they really want help, then they're going to reach out to me. And so one of the takeaways that I really found super valuable about what you're sharing was your 7 contact process, very detailed on each one of those contacts are. And if you're approaching people from the perspective of, I just want to help you, right? So whether helping you means leaving you alone, or whether helping you means, you know, finding other homes or getting into this one or whatever that looks like, at the end of the day, that's all I really want. And I think people will really appreciate that approach.
Yeah. I came to that conclusion because I analyzed myself. How do I like to be approached? I like people who genuinely want to help me solve my problem, not just make $1 and move on to the next person. So it's worked over and over and over again and time again. And it's worked for my team members as well. And I think that anybody can find a fit in this industry. It's just about connecting it up with who you really are, knowing your core values and getting there as fast as you possibly can. So, and moving forward, like you said, people do the ones that have a lot of potential and quit too soon. I'm always like, you're so close. Person that, like, you know, needed to dig 3 more inches to find gold. Oftentimes that's the ones that hurt the most, that you're like, so close, but
yeah, it's like they did 90% of the work and they just stopped a hair too soon.
Yeah. So definitely.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate everything you have to share with people. So thanks.
Always happy to help. And likewise to you. Thanks, Kevin.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.